Differences between supplier and vendor. Supplier versus vendor. Supplier is an entity or individual that provides goods, services, or raw materials to another organization by ensuring the availability of essential components for your business processes. Whereas, vendor is a person or a company buying products or services from distributors and reselling them to individual consumers. The scope of suppliers is based on transactional or strategic, involving relationships with the company. Whereas, the scope of vendor is typically transactional, focused on specific sales. The nature of relationship of supplier is based on B2B relationship, which means supporting other businesses in their operations. Whereas, the nature of relationship of vendor is often B2C relationship, which means a direct interactions with consumers or retailers. Suppliers are product-focused when supplying raw materials and service-focused when providing services like IT services. Whereas, vendors are mainly product-focused, only selling finished goods. The contractual agreement of suppliers are based on detailed contracts with businesses, specifying terms, quality standards, and delivery schedules. Whereas, the contractual agreement of vendors are based on contracts that are mostly related to sales with customers or retailers. Suppliers are part of both upstream, providing raw materials, and downstream, providing services, supply chains, influencing production and operations. Whereas, vendors are positioned at the end of the supply chain, catering to consumer demands. Business model of suppliers are called as business to business, B2B, whereas, business model of vendors are called as business to consumer, B2C. The customers of suppliers are other businesses. Whereas, the customers of vendors are individual consumers or businesses. The product range of supplies are limited, often specializing in one product. Whereas, the product range of vendors are broad, offering various products. The product creation of suppliers are based on small-scale production or sourcing. Whereas, the product creation of vendor are based on selling the goods to the final consumer. The sales channel of suppliers are based on sales to middlemen or wholesalers. Whereas, the sales channel of vendors are based on direct sales to end users. The marketing strategies of suppliers are based on B2B marketing strategies. Whereas, the marketing strategies of vendors are based on B2C marketing strategies. The sales volume of supplier are large. Whereas, the sales volume of vendors are small. The pricing of suppliers are lower due to larger volume of sales. Whereas, the pricing of vendors are higher due to smaller volume of sales. The profit margin of suppliers are lower due to competitive pricing. Whereas, the profit margin of vendors are higher due to added markup on sales. Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel Thesis Helper. Thanks for watching.